first Clustal we released could align 1,200 residues, DNA or RNA or protein. These days, the biggest ones we've ever done were we aligned some titin proteins, and so they're almost 30,000 amino acids long. But we haven't been able to do that until fairly recently. Fortunately, there are almost no proteins even remotely as big as titin.
Yeah, I guess it's one of the biggest proteins that you think that genomes can encode.
I think it was the biggest protein, and the first person to sequence titin, the first sequencing of titin happened here at EMBL.
Okay. This was a time where you were at the EMBL, or?
Yes, and so one of the wonderful things about EMBL was you would meet people at coffee and at beer and at parties. EMBL was always having EMBL-wide parties or just dinner in people's houses, going to seminars, and you would hear people ask questions and you think, oh, they must know something about something I'm interested in. And you just go and talk to them. And so I worked on the evolution of titin for a while because Siegfried Labeit and Matthias Gautel and Toby Gibson, my long-term Clustal collaborator, he was already interested in titin. And they were sequencing, initially they sequenced about a third of titin here. They ended up sequencing the whole thing after I left EMBL. So that was one of my collaborations at EMBL. And these collaborations just started out of nothing. You'd be having a coffee with someone and someone would say, hey, you can make trees. Will you please help me analyze my sequences?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's how I met Toby. That's how the most famous thing that happened to Clustal was Clustal W and Clustal X. And they came from a collaboration with Toby Gibson and Julie Thompson, who were in a different lab in EMBL. And I knew Toby was making multiple alignments by hand, and I with colored pens, and I said, I've got a program that can do that. He said, your program won't be as good as what I can do. And so we collaborated, and that ended up becoming Clustal W and Clustal X.